For the first time ever, Henry Cavill didn't let a press release or a corporate report speak for him. He went straight to Instagram and confirmed it himself, in his own words. And buried near the end of that post is a detail that could reveal exactly who he's about to play. Connect this to a certain Space Marine game character, the pieces start lining up in a way that changes how you'll watch this entire show. Let's get into exactly what Cavill said. Let's start. Games Workshop's annual report, industry outlets paraphrasing corporate language, YouTubers stitching together theories from vague statements. This is the first time the confirmation has come directly from the man himself. He's still fully attached to this project after all this waiting. He also confirmed something else that hadn't been publicly detailed before. He's working on the script alongside Natalie Viscuso, his producing partner at Vertigo Entertainment, together with Mike Flanagan. In Cavill's own words, they've already been working with Flanagan to craft the creative direction and are making, quote, considerable advances in the story. He even acknowledged directly that adapting this universe is, in his words, an absolute monster to wrestle, but said Flanagan's talents are helping it take off wonderfully. This adaptation is genuinely difficult to crack, and it's taken this long specifically because they've been trying to get it right rather than just rushing something out the door. Think about how significant it is that Cavill chose the word monster to describe the process. This is a man who spent decades immersed in this hobby, painting miniatures, reading the codexes, playing the games, and even he's openly admitting the sheer scale of Warhammer 40K's lore makes this one of the hardest adaptation challenges he's ever taken on. That's not corporate spin designed to manage expectations. That's an honest acknowledgement from someone who clearly understands just how much history, how many factions, and how many decades of continuity are riding on getting this right the first time. And it explains, better than any leaked report ever could, exactly why fans have been waiting this long without a trailer, a logo, or even a confirmed title. Now here's the part of his post that ties directly into something we covered recently, and it's Cavill himself confirming a connection we'd only been speculating about until now: United Artists. In his own words, Cavill said bringing United Artists into the fold was an easy decision, and he specifically credited his experience working with them on Highlander as the reason. Think about what that actually means. We already knew United Artists is now run by producer Scott Stuber, the same executive behind Netflix's transformation into an awards powerhouse, and the same guy who personally backed the confirmed $180 million Highlander budget after Lionsgate couldn't come up with the money. Now Cavill is telling us directly, in his own words, that his positive experience on that exact project is why United Artists is now involved in Warhammer 40K 2. This isn't outside speculation anymore. It's confirmation straight from Cavill that the relationship he built making Highlander is now carrying directly over into this universe. And then comes the announcement a lot of fans have been waiting for without even realizing it. Cavill confirmed the Warhammer 40K Deathwatch animated series is officially happening as part of Secret Level's second season on Amazon. He specifically named the team behind it, director Dave Wilson and writer John Orloff, working with Blur Studios, the same studio responsible for the original Warhammer 40K episode of Secret Level back in 2024, the one following Lieutenant Titus that fans still can't stop rewatching. Cavill called Wilson a master of his craft and said the team is supporting his efforts to keep everything aligned with what he calls the overall universe plan, confirming in his own words that this animated series and the live-action show are being built as connected pieces of the same universe, not separate, unrelated projects. This detail matters more than it might seem at first glance. Amazon and Games Workshop have talked in vague terms for years about wanting a shared universe approach to Warhammer 40K, similar to what Marvel built with its interconnected films. But this is the first time we're hearing directly from the person actually running point on the live-action side that the animated Deathwatch series isn't just a nice bonus release to keep fans occupied during the wait. It's deliberately being built to connect with whatever Cavill's show ends up telling. That's a meaningfully different situation than most other studios have managed with their own expanded universe attempts, where spin-offs often feel bold. Now let's get to the theory we teased at the start, because once you line up everything Cavill just confirmed, it points somewhere specific. We know the Deathwatch animated series is a direct follow-up to the original Secret Level episode, which followed Lieutenant Deathwatch series, and his live-action show are tied into the same overall universe plan. And a theory starts forming that's hard to ignore. What if the Deathwatch animated series covers Titus's earlier Black Shield days, setting up the exact character Cavill could be preparing to play in the live-action series down the line? From a marketing standpoint alone, it would make enormous sense. Space Marine 2 has reportedly sold somewhere close to 13 million copies worldwide, meaning millions of people already know exactly who Titus is, even if they've never touched a tabletop model in their life. Landing Cavill as an older, more experienced version of that same character would be the kind of crossover that pulls gaming audiences straight into the TV universe without needing to explain 40 years of lore from scratch. To be clear, this is still theorizing, and Cavill himself kept the character under wraps on purpose. He could just as easily be playing an Inquisitor like Eisenhorn, a Custodes, or something entirely original built just for the show, but for the first time, we're not just guessing based on old interviews and secondhand reports. We're building this theory directly off Cavill's own confirmed words about how these two projects connect. That's a meaningfully different level of confidence than anything we've had to work with before now. So here's what we want to know from you. Do you think Cavill is playing an older Titus, fresh off his Deathwatch service, or is he going a completely different direction?